All right, good morning, guys. We are here for our second read aloud. And if you're joining us on YouTube on another day, I'm glad that you are getting to join as we are almost done reading Out of My Mind. We are going to be reading chapter 25 today. And then if you join in tomorrow at the same time, Miss Starkey is going to be reading us chapter 26. So everyone who's here live with me today, can everyone just wave at the camera? Say hi to all your friends. And if you're watching on YouTube, please join us tomorrow. It is so much more fun in person. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to a PowerPoint first. And I just want to make sure that everyone at home, or if you are, well, you're all at home. So if you are here with me right now, if you're watching on YouTube, does everyone have a piece of paper and something to write with? We got it? Okay. When we are done at the very end, you're going to see a slide with my email, and you guys can take a picture of it and email it over to me, and then I'll make sure you guys get credit for today. Okay. And if you watch it on YouTube, you can do the same. So we're going to hop on over to a PowerPoint that I made to review what we talked about, because it's been almost a whole week since our last session. So this is Virtual Read Aloud with Miss Greene, day number 2. Let's see. So last week we talked about, let me see if I can get rid of this editing tools. Okay, there we go. Last week we talked about what Melody was learning about herself. So she had her first competition, and these are actually scholar answers that got emailed to me after last week's session. So the question was, what does Melody learn about herself? How has she changed? And these were sent in by the people on the video last week. So Autumn said, Melody has learned that her classmates have different strengths and weaknesses. She's good at spelling while Connor is good at math, and that when they work together, they can be successful. She also wrote that throughout the chapter, Melody gained more confidence when she learned that her team needed her, and even more so when she realized that they actually believed in her. And then final, we talked about her internal dialogue. We'll talk about that a little today. That's the author's craft. It showed that she has finally stopped doubting herself. And so we are going to go to that next slide, but that's a little review from last week. Okay, everyone on your papers right now, if you could make a T-chart, you guys have seen those in math and reading, one line like this, one line at the top. And I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to have acceptance as your title of one and rejection as your title of the second. So you're making a T-chart, and you're going to have acceptance, and you're going to have rejection. Hi, DeRay. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to mute you, sweetheart, just so that we don't hear too much, but I'll unmute you if you want to answer a question, okay? Awesome. So you have about 10 more seconds. If you're listening at home, you can just pause the YouTube video, obviously. But obviously, those of you working with me, about 10 more seconds. And this is going to be your quick write for today. I'm going to let my dog out of the room. You want to go? Goodbye. Oh. All right, so you see my 2 prompts right here. This is actually the theme we're going to be talking about today. Theme is the message that the author is trying to get across to the reader through his or her story. So the word acceptance means to feel included in something. The word rejection, the act of not being accepted or included. As 4th graders, I think we feel a lot of acceptance or a lot of rejection often. So on your chart, I want you to write 2 or 3 ways that you feel you have felt accepted or rejected in your life. I'm not going to have you guys share this because acceptance and rejection can feel very personal, but I want you to write 2 to 3 examples of how you have felt accepted by someone or something or group of people, or rejected. Now, if you want to share after I'm done recording later, we can totally go over that together. But I'm going to give you 1 minute. I'm just going to smile and look at the camera for you guys to fill in your answers. Look at all them working. Awesome. 1 way you felt accepted, 1 way that you felt rejected. About 30 more seconds. Awesome. And for those of you watching at home, I've also included this slide on theme. So theme is something that happens in almost every novel. Yes, every novel that we've read. And there could be many. So this chapter, we're focusing on acceptance versus rejection. We're going to see Melody has spent most of her life feeling rejected by the people around her. And something about this little experience and this competition is going to make her finally feel accepted in some ways, but you might see some rejection in the end even so. I'm going to stop sharing the screen with y'all. We're going to come back and we're going to dive right in. Are we ready? Okay, pretty much everyone's on the screen, so remember, learning face is on. Okay, chapter 25. OMG, what a night. I still can't believe how everything turned out once the championship round began. That's when Mr. Kingsley explained. The questions this time will be a bit more difficult. Scoring, however, will be the same. The team with the best score out of 100 possible points will be our champion. He picked up the cards that contained the questions and smiled. Here's question number 1. What is diplopia? A, double vision. B, left-handedness. C, a disease of the gums. Or D, a form of cancer. Oh boy, he wasn't kidding. This was going to be a killer round. I was sure the answer was A, though kind of. When the answer was revealed, double vision. Correct. Whew! Rose, Connor, and I got it right. Claire missed it. Everyone on the Perry Valley team answered it correctly. So the score was 3-4. Number 2, Mr. Kingsley said. Who is the composer of Rhapsody in Blue? Mozart, Gershwin, Copland, Beethoven? Bing, bing, bing. Thanks to my parents and Mrs. V, that was a little easier. I pushed the button for B. One person on the Perry Valley team got it wrong, and Claire messed up as well. That made the score 6-7, with Perry Valley ahead. Everybody could feel the tension. The next 20 questions covered things like lions in the jungle, gravity and space, authors of famous books, and math. Some of those I even got right. Even though Connor aced a hard spelling problem and Claire came through with a difficult history question, Perry Valley kept saying 1 or 2 points ahead of us. It was getting near the end of the round, and Perry Valley had surged ahead on a math question and was up to 3 points. It looked pretty grim for us with a score of 78-81. I glanced at Connor. Sweat dripped down from his nose. Then Mr. Kingsley said, the condition in which a person may be able to hear colors or visualize flavors when music is played is called A, synthesis, B, symbiosis, C, synthenesia, and D, symbolism. Oh my goodness, guys. That is a word that we should know because, let me see if I can share my screen again. Yep. Our author, or our narrator, here we go, where do we go? Melody has synthenesia. So if you're watching from home, you can pause this and this can be your vocab word for today, synthenesia. Okay, it is the condition in which a person may be able to hear colors or visualize flavors when music is playing. So if you're watching it right now, why don't you just go ahead and write that word? You don't need to write the whole definition, but you can write synthenesia. The condition in which a person may be able to hear colors or visualize flavors when music is played. Awesome. Let's keep going. Okay. I grinned and punched in C. Not only was it one of Mrs. V's vocabulary words, it was me. I breathed a sigh of relief when I realized that Connor and Claire and Rose had also chosen the right answer. When the results were tallied, only one of the Perry Valley kids had gotten it right. The score stood at 82-82. It was time for the very last question. This one would determine the group that would go to Washington. I glanced at Rose and the others. I think we all gulped at the same time. Our last question of the evening, Mr. Kingsley began, is a mathematics problem. I groaned inside. I'll show you one more thing. This is where I want you guys to be able to see the words that the author is showing us, because we see a piece of author's craft here. So if you are watching live with me, I want you to go ahead and look at this. I'm going to ask you this question and have you unmute your screens to help everyone. So this is actually from the text. She says, I groaned inside. There goes our trip to Washington. I may as well go back to room H5 and hide there for the next 1,000 years. Now, we've talked about this a lot throughout our reading of the whole text. Why does the author use italics throughout the novel? So that's where the words are a little slanted. So someone watching with me right now, you want to show me a raised hand if you think you know the answer? Michaela, and then I'll go to Dure. Let's see, Michaela, can you, there you go. Michaela, why do you think the author uses italics in this novel?
I think the author uses italics because it's a thought Melody is thinking.
To show, is she talking right here?
No, she's thinking something inside her head.
Fantastic. And I'm going to come over to Dure and see if any of that was a little different, or maybe she just agrees. Thank you, Michaela. Dure?
I was going to say the same thing.
Why does the author do this in this book?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I think the author does it to show the way Melody feels.
Yeah, because all of you can just nod or say no, or just, use your body language. Can Melody talk like a normal scholar? No. So this is one way the author's craft exactly what Dure and Michaela have showed us today, is how she's using her voice in this book. Go ahead, Michaela.
I also think that it's important to know what Melody is thinking.
Wonderful. I completely agree. Thank you. We're going to dive back in. Are you ready? Everyone's back on mute. Okay. Number 25. Mr. Kingsley said slowly. Lisa gets up every morning and gets ready for school. She takes 22 minutes to get dressed, 18 minutes to eat breakfast, and 10 minutes to walk to school. What time should Lisa get up so she can arrive at school at 7:25 a.m.? A, 6:15, B, 6:20, C, 6:25, or D, 6:35? I need to add, then subtract. How do I subtract time? I need to see a clock. I'm getting all mixed up. Time is running out. I can't mess up now. Those were all internal thoughts. They were italicized. It could have been C, but it might have been D. I thought a moment more, and I pushed D, feeling like I was going to throw up. The answers lit up on the screen. Everybody on our team had answered D. Either we were all correct or really terrible at finding out math problems. 3 students on the Perry Valley team answered D. One of them answered C. Remember, guys, they were tied right now. Well, it looks like we have a winner, ladies and gents. I'm extremely pleased to announce that the team that will represent us in Washington, D.C. this year, the team we hope to see on Good Morning America, with a score of 86 to 85 is, he paused for dramatic effect, Spalding Street Elementary School. I couldn't help it. I squealed. I kicked. My arms jerked crazily. I tried really hard to control it, but I just couldn't help it. My body went a little wacko on me. Shut her up, I hear Claire hiss. Shh, Rose whispered through her clenched teeth. Guys, let me show you what that looks like. She's like, shh, shh, shh. Have you ever, think about if someone comes in the room and Miss Greene's like, shh, and you don't actually want to be like, be quiet, but you're saying it underneath your breath, right? Or think about if your mom's walking in and you and your siblings are doing something, you're like, because you don't want to make a scene. So that's what, telling her to stop. I'm going to jump over to what our thinking job was. Remember, our theme of acceptance versus rejection. And I want to show you guys what I want you to write on your papers next. So if you're watching from home, you can go ahead and pause it on this screen. But if you're watching with me, you'll have to just work a little bit faster. And I went too far. Okay, here we go. So throughout this reading and the next couple pages, we're almost done with the chapter. I want you to be thinking about now how Melody has been accepted or rejected. So if you're watching from home, you can pause and write as many things that you can think of. But if you're watching with me right now, I want you to write, how was Melody just accepted by her team? And how was she just rejected by her team? As you're writing, I'm going to reread that last part. They just won. And she says, I couldn't help it. I squealed, I kicked, my arms jerked crazily. I tried really hard to control it, but I just couldn't help it. My body went a little wacko on me. Shut her up, I heard Claire hiss. Shh, Rose whispered through her clenched teeth. So right now you're writing one way she's been accepted by her team and one way that she's been rejected by her team. Pretty soon you're going to see that her team, the people outside of her team, are going to accept her for many things, but she's going to be rejected by someone on her team in just a couple minutes. I'll leave that on there and I'll go ahead and keep reading. Thank you for watching our telecast, Mr. Kingsley said, throwing a quick glance at me. Please join us in 2 weeks when we televise the finals from Washington. This is Charles Kingsley. Good night. He signaled that he was finished. Cameras blinked to dark and lights blessedly clicked off. I couldn't stop kicking. My arms acted like a wind-up toy's gone bananas. I screamed with joy. At least nobody noticed this time, because hoots and hollers abounded as dozens of people stormed the stage. Dad balanced Penny in one arm and the camcorder in another. Mom, Catherine, and Mrs. V rushed over to me and smothered me with hugs. Mrs. V tried to look as if she weren't surprised, but her grin seemed to be permanently attached. Mr. Dimming, the alternates, and all the parents of everyone else came screaming, cheering, jumping, and patted everyone on the back. One of the parents put confetti all over us. Balloons appeared out of nowhere. Somebody in the studio turned on the speakers and played the song Celebration. Everybody started to dance. Now that could be somewhere right now, you guys. I see Michaela already doing it. How is she feeling accepted right now? Melody's looking very, very like everyone else, right? She's a winner. She's a champion. That can go in your acceptance column. It seemed as if a million pictures were being taken. Amazingly, lots of people were being taken of me. I did my best to calm down and relax. Smile, Melody, yelled the guy with the baseball clap. Click, flash. Can somebody sit her up a little straighter in her chair? Click, flash. Another picture. Get a picture of the kid in the wheelchair. I think that was a kid. Click, flash. Where's the winning team? We want a picture for the newspaper. Everybody go around Melody. Now, I want you to decide, and I'll check your work later. Do you think Melody feels accepted, that she's the center of attention? Or would you put that in the rejection column? Do you think she feels accepted that everyone's looking at her? Michaela, I want you to write it. I want you to send it to me because I think people will have different answers here. Or do you think she feels rejected? Yes, Duray. Wait, make sure you're unmuted before you talk. Yeah.
I think that right now, I think she feels accepted because they're giving her more attention.
Did anyone put that in the rejection column? No? Marquita? Why do you think that it would make her feel rejected, Marquita?
Well, because I thought that she would want to feel accepted for something else. Instead of
yeah, go ahead.
taken of her.
Instead of getting the pictures taken of her? Because, exactly, Duray, I think you're both correct. I think she could feel accepted, right, if we could talk to her.
I agree.
Yeah? Wait, David, I'm going to let you go before I spill what I think. Wait, make sure you're unmuted. There you go. David, go ahead.
She feels rejected because they're blocking her from taking pictures.
They're not blocking her. Where are they putting her? Are they putting her on the side? Are they putting her in the back? Where?
Behind them.
In the middle. So they're making her the center of the attention, right? So like what Duray was saying, she could feel accepted because she's a winner, just like everyone else, right? But
and she might feel equal.
But on another side, like what Marquita's saying, she could feel rejected because she's being put at the center because of her wheelchair, right? They're saying, around the girl with the wheelchair. Where's that girl? Okay, we're going to keep reading. Make sure everyone's back on their mute. If I didn't do it right, there we go. Okay. I could barely see. Blue dots danced in my eyes. We want the winning team for a TV interview. Can we have them over here? Good evening. This is Elizabeth of Channel 6 News. I'm here in our studio this week as we speak to students from Spalding Street Elementary School. Victorious members of the winning team of this Whiz Kids competition are here with us tonight. These are the 8 of the brightest young people in our community. Let's meet them. We'll start with the back row. I'm Amanda Firestone, age 12. Molly North, age 11. Elena Rodriguez, age 12. That got a laugh. Miss Ochoa continued. And seated in front of me is the championship team. Tell me your names as well. My name is Claire Wilson, and I'm 11, and I got more right than anyone else on my team. Good for you. I know you studied hard. She moved quickly to Rose. And you are? Rose Spencer, age 11, Rose said, sounding shy. What stands out for you this evening? The reporter asked as the camera moved in closer. I was on last year's team, and we lost by only a few points, so it was really exciting to win this time. I'm really proud of our team. Great answer, and we're proud of you as well. Now this tall young man, what's your name, sir? Connor Bates. Hi, Mom. Connor spoke loudly into the mic. Do you remember the hardest question you were given tonight, Connor? I thought all the questions were super easy. I missed a few on purpose so that the other contestants wouldn't feel bad. She burst into a little laugh. How does it feel to be on a team with a very special team member? Hey, Melody's okay. She's really smart. Let me introduce you to... I wasn't about to let him steal my thunder. On her computer. My name is Melody Brooks, and I'm 11 years old. My machine said loudly and clearly. The reporter looked amazed. Well, this is astounding. How does it feel to be a part of the winning team, Melody? I pressed my key for super. She laughed. Was it difficult to study and prepare? Nope. Lots of people helped me. What was the hardest part about participating tonight? Hoping I wouldn't mess up. She smiled. We all feel like that sometimes. Are you excited about traveling to Washington, D.C.? Oh, yes. Have you ever been there before? No. How will being on the winning team change your life at school? Not much. But she looked at me and waited patiently, and I took the time to write these words. Maybe kids will talk to me more. I'm going to let that sink in. See, Caesar's writing. Maybe is this acceptance or is this rejection? And what's going to happen, I want you guys to listen very carefully, is going to blow your mind based on how this girl has treated her through the whole book. Think really carefully about how Claire has treated her this whole time. Okay? So I'll repeat. Melody says, maybe kids will talk to me more. Claire says, I talk to her all the time. Both Rose and Connor look at her. Huh? Miss Ochoa moved over from me and now to Claire. So you consider yourself to be a friend of Melody's? Oh, absolutely, she says. She and I eat lunch together every day and test each other on questions and practice for the quiz team. Melody's so much smarter than she looks. Everyone go to your T-chart right now. I want you to reflect. Is she being rejected right now or accepted by Claire? And do you think it's real or do you think it's fake for the cameras? Take about 30 seconds, Dre. I'm going to have you write this. We can share right after, okay? So I'll repeat that question. Do you think she's being accepted or rejected? And do you think it's real or do you think it's fake? About 10 more seconds. Rose raised her hand to speak, but the reporter shook her head. I'm so sorry, but we're out of time. In addition to a great group of kids, we've just met 2 remarkable young women, best friends in spite of their differences, and members of a winning Washington-bound Whiz Quiz team. Congratulations to you all. I was stunned. Claire? And that's the end of our chapter today. So I'm going to flip right over to give you guys that final PowerPoint slide of the questions that you can answer and send to me. And those of you watching with me right now, I'm going to give you guys the screen. And those of you watching from home, I'll let you guys pause and you can answer this. But these are your final questions that I would love to hear your answers about. Number 1, in what ways has the author displayed the internal and external battle of acceptance and rejection throughout the novel? So inside Melody and what's going on, and outside of her. And then how has Claire rejected Melody previously at Spalding Street Elementary? So what has she been doing the whole time throughout this novel? And do you think her acceptance at the end of this chapter is heartfelt, which means real? Do you think it was real or do you think it was posed? So I'm going to come back over and you guys, I'll give you a second. We'll come back over to the main screen. Everyone watching live with me right now, can you wave goodbye to everyone on YouTube? Thank you for reading with us today. And we will see you tomorrow when Miss Starkey is reading the next chapter. Let's see if Claire is really real.